This is Danny with QuadLugs, and we're installing the QBrain 4-in-1 ESC and the CC3D flight controller. The install is here at the bottom, and of course you want to use 4 sticky tabs or double-sided tape and center it in your box. You can measure it from each side to get it in the center, and that'll work great. After that, you run your power wires with your plug through here and your control wires through here, or your signal wires. The other thing to make sure of is that these wires, these are 4 ESCs. You want to make sure that these 3 wires go to this arm, these 3 wires go to that arm, these 3 to this arm, these 3 to this arm. And that way, when you have it turned over, it's real easy to figure out, you know, this is this one, this is this one, this is this one, and so on. So that's the way, you know, just make sure that. A good way to do that, put these wires in one at a time, or one ESC at a time. Put these 3 in, turn it over, and then connect, you know, run it through the hole here. And that way you'll make sure that they're going to the right arm. Make sure each 3 wires is too, because if you get these crossed up, you're going to burn it. Okay, after that's done, we're going to go to the inside. Here we're going to determine which wires, these control wires, which ones to hook up to the flight controller. Super easy to do. The flight controller, and most all of them, you know, have different setups. In other words, this particular flight controller, the CC3D, this is motor 1, this is motor 2, this is motor 3, and this is motor 4. So you may have another one later on, and it might be motor 1, 2, 3, 4. But anyway, for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the front of the quad, this is the back of the quad. It opens up like this. So this is the front, this is the back. So you start with front left, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So keep from getting mixed up, just grab onto arm number 1. When you flip it over, you'll see that this set of wires goes here. So this is going to be ESC number 4 is going to this one. ESC 4 is here. It's brown. Okay? So when you go in here, we've marked motor number 1 is going to be brown, okay? And you just go through it, and this is how we come up with the wiring on how to hook it up, okay? We have that done. We have this ready here. We have our markings here. So we're going to get the controller and we'll go ahead and install it. Okay, you have your flight controller, and we're going to go ahead and get it open. You're going to have a few items with it. Of course, this is a flight controller. Sticky pad to put it down. We don't normally use this. We'll use the one that came with the kit, but you can if you want to. We have 2 sets of wiring. Okay. Actually, 3 sets. We're not going to use this. We're not going to use this. This is one we're going to use. You can't go wrong. This has got the most wires and the biggest connector. If you notice, this is a smaller connector. This is a smaller connector. These are for different controllers. I mean, receivers you could put on. So after the CC3D is installed, we're going to move on with the next video, and it's going to show how to wire this in to the receiver. Okay, so for right now, the only thing we're going to do is get this installed. Real quick on this, you'll see some numbers here, and that's motor number 1, 2, 3 through 6 here. The top, you'll also see it shows signal, plus, and minus. The little hat sign right here, it looks like that's the signal. That'd be your top pin. The middle one is your positive for power, and your negative is going to be your ground. It's at the bottom. But we'll do that. We're going to hook that up in just a second. This is where your motors are going to go. Flight direction is shown here. It's got a little arrow facing this way. Normally you would have the arrow pointing toward the direction of flight. In other words, toward the front of your quad. But in this one, so it fits better, easier to install, we're going to turn it 90 degrees to the left. And when we do the setup, we're going to account for that. That's coming. This is where your USB is going to tie in. That's coming up in one of the next segments. Okay, I just wanted to show you where it goes. This here, and it's, you can tell real easy, it's the biggest plug, it's the only place it's going to be able to fit, is where you're going to plug the receiver into after this is wired. That's also coming up in one of the next segments. Okay? So right now, we're going to wire this in, put it in. So all you have to do, really simple, motor number 1, and we just established that these are the motor pins. Motor number 1, we want brown. So we're going to go here. Motor number 1 is brown. There's brown, and we're going to plug it in just like this. Remember we said this was signal, positive, negative. The top is the signal, middle is power, bottom is ground. Okay? Motor number 2, red. So we're going to get our red wire, and we're going to plug it in. Motor number 3, orange. Here's our orange wire. Plug it in. Motor number 4, white. This is our white. The middle is our power. The bottom is the ground. This is where we're going to power up. When this wire is connected, it's going to power up the controller. And we put it here. So brown is motor 1. Red is number 2. Orange is number 3. White is number 4. To install it, put a sticky pad or double-sided tape on this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner. Or if you have one that's big enough, just put it in the middle. But you want it to where it doesn't rock around, because this is going to affect your flying if it starts moving. Once you have the pads on, you want to put it in the middle of the box. That's going to, that is the middle this way. So just like that. And all the way up to the front of the wood. Or, half inch, a quarter inch or so away, no problem. But, about like that. If it touches, no problem. Somewhere's in there. That's where you want to do it. So put your sticky pads on, line it up, hold the bottom, push it down. Your wiring's hooked up. You're ready to go. So the next step should be installing your Spectrum receiver. Again, you're going to use this cable, but it's all in the video. Okay? So now you have your QBrain installed. You have the wires going to the right area. You have the signal wires installed. You have your CC3D installed. Now you're ready to move on. This is Danny with QuadLugs. Take care.